I think Malik Cunningham could be kind of the new Taysom Hill. Because I think not as a primary quarterback, but I think we could see Malik Cunningham take snaps away from Mac Jones. Here's Cam Newton's rushing stats from 2020 in New England. 137 attempts. 137 attempts as a rusher, okay, as a quarterback. 592 yards, 12 touchdowns. That year he also had 2.6 passing yards, 2.6 thousand passing yards, and 8 touchdowns. So a lot to be desired in the passing department. Decent as a runner. They mostly used him on the goal line. Preseason, this is Malik Cunningham's stats. 3 for 4 passing, 19 yards, 4 attempts rushing, and 34 yards and a touchdown, 26 total snaps. So Bill has worked with a running quarterback before.
Can I just add something real quick before you keep going? Because this is a really good point. Did you get to watch him play it live? Did you watch this game?
Malik?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Because the one incompletion was a dot to the
that
corner of
was
the end
dropped,
zone on the
and it would
run.
have been a passing touchdown.
So that was my biggest thing is that was a real NFL throw. And he's really surprised me with that one. I did not know he had that in his bag already.
Yeah.
And when he made that throw, I was like, yeah. And I know Belichick was on the sideline like,
I know he was cheesing.
he was like, he just did that. Like, let's
go. So, and we know Louisville has been able to produce quarterbacks now. He's not as highly touted as Lamar was. And, the endless Lamar comparisons will come with Malik's success. But I don't know, man. Like, they've used a running quarterback before. If anyone could do it, Bill is smart. They don't love Mac. Let's just be honest. They don't love Mac. Bill Belichick doesn't love Mac. Is there a chance we see, Malik take snaps away, more than a gadget type thing this year?
Well, I was what I wanted to bring up because it's a good point, too, and it's very true. So right now we see, it's like, Trace McSorley's ahead of him on the depth chart. All right, well, let's be – okay, and again, I'm not even saying he's going to get cut. I have no clue the situation of how much they value him. I don't know anything about that. But I'm going to tell you this. If they have to make a choice between one of the two of them this year, I'm very confident they would hold on to Malik and his upside, and they'd go, okay, well, Trey's already – he's already bounced around here from the Ravens. Yeah, it's kind of like – and if I'm not mistaken, he actually might have been on another team too, but you get my point. We know Trace has bounced around. So, and yeah, it's like I'm going to stick with our homegrown guy. He's here. He's fresh. We get him for at least another few years. So it's like, yeah, Malik. You get my point. So it's like then he takes that third, because again, we know Bailey Zapps can be QB2 probably for the foreseeable future. But like you said, Willie's not there to be QB2. He's there to be gadget, if he wants, in this case, like a gadget role, which is a great role in today's NFL. Yeah. You can be very productive in that role. And not that that'll be the role forever or anything, but for this first couple years, for sure. And I think it'd be a great role for him. And like you said, too, even lining up somewhere else, you could line him up in running back, run a trick play. You could line him up a receiver, run a trick play. Like, there's definitely a few things you could do with him that are very – because we see how he moves. He moves well enough that he could do that for a few snaps at other positions. Like, he clearly can definitely maneuver around the field.
I agree. And in my opinion, he would be a better, quarterback than Taysom Hill would ever be. So it's like the Patriots have options. And, in my opinion, this would be, the first opportunity if Mac has, a decent year to kind of not split snaps at quarterback, but, create a more diverse offense.
Well, let's say, because like you said, the Patriots we know don't have a lot of weapons, but you can manufacture offense. This is a way you can give yourself an extra receiver. You get what I'm saying? Per se, you give yourself an extra personnel in every grouping. That's hard to you got to plan around it.
So here, let me propose this to you, just because I think we're seeing more athleticism than ever at the quarterback position. Plenty of these guys, Malik Cunningham types, maybe not as talented as him, but similar talent, come out of college all the time. Why are teams not keeping one of these guys in the quarterback room just to run gadget plays?
See, I think we're starting to see it more and more, though, to this point, because I'll even use the Browns this year with DTR. When we see
DTR is a real quarterback to me.
He is, but he also is with where you can use him for that other stuff. And that's what's crazy is realistically almost that's what probably teams lean toward when they drafted him, because we know he's a talented quarterback as well. That's my thing. I think teams are starting to see okay, if I get a guy, it's just a plus when they play. DTR does, but when you get a guy with that athleticism for so many things, even crazy enough, things if you wanted to run a fake field goal, certain things like that. You get a guy you really could, if you trust them to be the holder, and then it's all you got to plan around that stuff like that. It's a real thing for sure. I know most teams just use the punter nowadays, but you get what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
You can use them in plenty of situations, and so many, and so it's to spend even a 6th, 7th round pick on him. That's what those are for. It's a flyer. It's somebody who might give you a ton of value for basically you're just kind of shooting in the dark because you're going to sign the free agents anyway.
It is so frustrating that DTR got drafted to the Browns because he has no clear path to start. Like, imagine if he would have went to the Rams. Like, it was so frustrating watching him fall. Like, I'm not saying he should have been higher than like a fourth or even a late third, but at the end of the day, like, dude is talented as hell. Like, he's so talented, and there's no path for him to start in Cleveland, especially with that Deshaun contract, and if he plays well. So it's just frustrating, bro, because I really like DTR, but like I said, DTR, Malik Cunningham, like these guys come out more and more often now, and it's like teams should be utilizing these guys' talents and not just like, oh, well, he's the third string quarterback on our depth chart. Like, bro can run and throw.
Dude, me and my dad have always been so big on it. Shouts to Pops. It's like, because he knows. Pops knows that I think what we always said is if you give a team like 8, 9, 10 receivers, or we get my point, a combination of receivers, tight ends, running backs, they have to consistently game plan for. It makes it hell. It makes it hell. What you why would a team want to go into the week? It makes it so much easier to game plan for 4 or 5 guys.
Yep.
Versus if they have to plan for 9, 10, 11, they consistently hit. And by consistently, I just mean you have to hit them once every couple weeks. The point is just do it consistently enough that if it's on tape, teams are going to plan for it. You make people overthink it, it could be the difference between you winning and losing a rep. And that's why I'll stand on it forever. You got to give teams a lot of looks. Not enough teams to figure it out, but more teams are starting to figure it out.
I agree.